Folks, in the name of God, Biden must go. And that's the subject of the riff. So, want to hear a truly scary thought? Joe Biden has 6 weeks left in his presidency. There's no telling what kind of crazy schemes he might embark on. Lord knows who else he's going to pardon. He's already brought us closer to World War III by greenlighting the use of long-range missiles by Ukraine deep into Russian territory. And then Putin has responded by lobbing his newest missiles right back deep into Ukraine. Kind of like mine's bigger than yours, but it's a very dangerous game. And Biden keeps nagging Israel for ceasefires, which are not in Israel's interest, and actually would wind up helping Hamas. Of course, Biden never talks about the American hostages still imprisoned by Hamas, of whom 3 are reportedly still alive, plus Israeli hostages where no one really knows the actual head count or who might still be alive. Then at home, Biden's trying to spend hundreds of billions of dollars on his Green New Deal climate quackery before Donald Trump officially comes into office. All those boondoggle slush fund Biden spending grants and schemes that were appropriated but not yet spent, they'll be wiped out by Mr. Trump. So Biden thinks he's got to pony up to help his cronies and his donors before it's too late. One of those, by the way, yet another proposal for student loan forgiveness, another one, blatantly illegal. The latest scam would wipe out loans for individuals that the Education Department thinks have an 80% chance of defaulting. Really. Trouble is, there isn't anybody in the Education Department that knows a thing about an income statement or a balance sheet or creditworthiness, as they merrily created $1.7 trillion of loans down through the years. House Education Chair Virginia Foxx believes this latest violation of the Supreme Court's decisions could cost, get this, nearly $1 trillion. That's right. And Ms. Foxx adds about 87% of Americans who either never attended college or paid off their loans would still be on the hook for this massive spending scheme. 87%. Then, rest assured, Mr. Biden and his gang would love to see another million illegal immigrants come across the border in the next month and a half. They're doing everything they can to promote that. And then the Biden White House is cheering on sanctuary city mayors and blue state governors plotting to stop President Trump's promise to deport criminals. They're going to lose that battle big time when Trump takes office. Bet on that. But right now, these crazy Democrats are trying to foment their own insurrection, even though crime rates are soaring in the very sanctuary cities and states that this so-called democratic resistance is trying to defend. And the Doge boys are estimating so far that all the free room, board, food, health care, cell phones, debit cards, and Lord knows what else, all of that has cost taxpayers $150 billion so far, a number probably taken from the Center for Immigration Studies. $150 billion, the very big number. All of World War I was $334 billion. If Biden-Harris were reelected, believe me, illegal immigration would have easily topped that. And $150 billion is a lot bigger than the Manhattan Project that produced the atomic weapons to end World War II. Bigger than the $15 billion for Teddy Roosevelt's Panama Canal. And a whole lot bigger than Herbert Hoover's dam in Nevada that powers so much of the American West. That only cost $1 billion. So, another 6 weeks of Joe Biden brings to mind the great phrase of 17th century British politician Oliver Cromwell. In 1653, he told the Parliament, quote, "It is not fit that you should sit here any longer. You have sat here too long for any good you have been doing lately. In the name of God, go." Sound advice for Joe Biden right now. And that's my